The neon lights of Las Vegas have always promised thrill, fortune, and escape. But fast forward to the year 2030 and the Strip no longer belongs to the crowds of tourists that once filled its streets. Instead, it's patrolled by humanoid robots, managed by AI algorithms, and powered by a brand new creation, the Casino Metaverse. Dealers are gone, replaced by emotion tracking machines that know when you're about to fold. Bartenders no longer mix drinks, they're automated arms serving cocktails designed by data. And for the first time in history, the most profitable casinos in Las Vegas don't even exist in the physical world. They exist online, hidden behind headsets where players from Asia, Europe, and beyond gamble in a digital Vegas that never sleeps. Behind the spectacle, ordinary workers' vanishing jobs are erased, and the soul of the city is being rewritten by cold, calculating code. So the question isn't whether Las Vegas will survive, it's whether humans have any place left in it. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the shocking future no one can ignore Las Vegas in 2030, run by AI robots and the Casino Metaverse. Coming into the second half of the 2020s, the transformation of Las Vegas has been nothing short of breathtaking and terrifying. The city that once relied on packed casinos, endless buffets, and human-driven hospitality has turned into a laboratory for high-tech experiments. By 2025, warning signs were already everywhere. Tourism numbers had started to flatten, conventions brought fewer people, and younger generations were less interested in slot machines and more focused on digital entertainment. The casinos faced a choice fight to bring back tradition or double down on technology. They chose the latter. Within just a few years, entire workforces were replaced. AI-driven check-in kiosks became the new face of every hotel, eliminating the need for front desk clerks. Robot bartenders appeared on the Strip, not just as novelties, but as permanent fixtures shaking cocktails with mechanical precision, while smiling screens replaced human charm. Even the legendary casino dealers, once the lifeblood of the Vegas experience, found themselves pushed out as AI card dealers proved faster, cheaper, and capable of monitoring every detail of the game without error. By 2027, the shift was undeniable. Thousands of service workers had lost their jobs, replaced not by new opportunities, but by machines that never ask for pay raises, never take sick days, and never make mistakes. Entire unions tried to protest, warning that the very identity of Las Vegas was being hollowed out. But the corporations running the Strip saw profits rise as labor costs plummeted. Every major casino boasted about its AI advantage and marketed the experience as futuristic luxury. The reality for ordinary workers, however, was far darker. Those who once built their lives around casino jobs, dealers, waiters, performers, were pushed further into the desert, unable to keep up with the city's skyrocketing housing costs. Vegas, once known as a city of dreams for workers chasing opportunity, began to feel like a city designed only for machines and billion-dollar corporations. At the same time, visitors arriving on the Strip noticed the eerie emptiness behind the flashing lights. Hotels that could once house thousands ran with skeletal human staff, their roles reduced to simply maintaining the robots. Nightclubs filled with holographic DJs, lounges staffed entirely by AI hosts, and restaurants where automated arms cooked behind glass. The glitz was still there, but the soul was fading. By 2028, the term test city started appearing in the press. Tech companies quietly funneled money into Vegas, seeing it as the perfect playground for public experiments, drones delivering drinks across pools, surveillance algorithms tracking every gambler's emotion, and even prototype humanoid concierges guiding guests around hotels. Vegas became less about entertainment and more about technology disguised as entertainment. By the end of the decade, the Strip was nearly unrecognizable. Gone were the days of Elvis impersonators and live show crowds. Instead, the streets were lined with self-driving taxis, drone security patrols, and smart billboards that changed messages depending on who walked by. The city looked alive, but it was a hollow kind of life, an illusion maintained by circuits and code. The most shocking part was how quickly this happened. In less than 5 years, Vegas shifted from a human-powered wonderland to a stage run almost entirely by machines. For the corporations, this was efficiency. For the residents, it was displacement. And for the rest of America, it was a warning: if Vegas could change this fast, what city would be next? If the robots running hotels and the AI dealing cards shocked people, the next transformation would completely redefine the meaning of Las Vegas. By the late 2020s, the city's biggest gamble wasn't in a physical casino, it was in the creation of a digital Vegas inside the metaverse. At first, the idea seemed absurd. How could people possibly feel the same thrill of the Strip when sitting at home with a headset? But tech giants and casino corporations bet billions on the concept, and within just a few years they won. The Casino Metaverse was born, and with it, a brand new reality. Unlike the old Vegas, where a visitor had to fly across the country, book expensive rooms, and pay resort fees, the Metaverse version removed every barrier. Anyone anywhere from Shanghai to Berlin to Sao Paulo could slip on a VR headset and step into a glittering version of Las Vegas that never closed, never aged, and never ran out of space. The digital Strip looked even more perfect than the real one, with AI-generated lights, crowds of avatars, and luxury casinos towering higher than any real building ever could. Players could gamble at poker tables against strangers from 5 continents, walk through AI-designed slot floors that changed themes by the hour, and even attend virtual concerts with holograms of stars long gone. For casino executives, it was a dream. Instead of fighting for limited numbers of tourists, they now had access to the entire planet. Profits exploded, but not from Americans walking down the Strip. The real money flowed in from international players, many of whom had never set foot in Nevada at all. Analysts reported that by 2029, nearly half of all casino revenue came from the metaverse, with most of it generated by users in Asia and Europe. The balance of power had shifted. Las Vegas wasn't just a city anymore, it was a global simulation, one that didn't need tourists physically showing up. The darker side of this digital gold rush, however, was the loss of authenticity. Longtime Vegas visitors noticed the eerie emptiness of the real city. Once crowded casinos felt hollow because the true action was happening online. Why stand shoulder to shoulder at a blackjack table when an avatar could sit at one with unlimited space? Why tip a bartender when a digital cocktail in VR could be delivered instantly? Vegas in reality became a stage, while Vegas in the metaverse became the show. But with this shift came disturbing questions. In a world where AI controlled the odds, could anyone really win? Experts warned that algorithmic casinos were designed not only to entertain, but to predict and exploit human behavior at levels no dealer or pit boss ever could. The games adapted in real time to keep players hooked, using psychological nudges powered by data harvested from every blink, gesture, and hesitation. Addiction rates soared among digital players, especially in countries where regulations were weak. Governments scrambled to catch up, but the metaverse had no borders, and Vegas had found a way to bypass every restriction. Meanwhile, the city's own residents saw none of this money. The workers who once earned a living from casino tips or show performances couldn't follow their jobs into the metaverse. The digital dealers were pure code, the bartenders were animated holograms, and the performers were AI-generated replicas of stars, both living and dead. As the profits grew, so did the resentment among those left behind in the desert. The physical Strip glittered with empty promises, while the true wealth pulsed invisibly through servers and fiber optic cables. By the dawn of 2030, the Casino Metaverse was not just a novelty, it was the heart of Las Vegas. The corporations behind it began shutting down physical attractions, citing declining attendance and rising maintenance costs. Buffett's nightclubs and even some iconic casinos closed their doors, their legacy preserved only in digital form for metaverse tourists to explore. Vegas had, in effect, duplicated itself, and in doing so created a digital twin that proved far more profitable than the original. For the rest of America, it was a chilling development. The idea that a city could exist more powerfully online than in real life felt like science fiction come true. yet it was happening in front of everyone's eyes. Las Vegas was no longer bound by geography, no longer reliant on airplanes or hotel bookings. It had become a borderless casino empire run by AI and accessible only through a screen. The lights still shined on the Strip, but they were nothing compared to the blinding glow of the metaverse, where billions were won and lost without a single human hand ever touching a chip. If the metaverse changed the way Las Vegas made money, the rise of AI control systems changed the very nature of gambling itself. In the old days, casinos stacked the odds in their favor, but luck always played a role. By 2030, that illusion had vanished. Every roll of the dice, every shuffle of the deck, every spin of the wheel was governed by artificial intelligence trained to exploit human psychology. These weren't just machines running the math, they were engines of manipulation. Inside the Casino Metaverse, players quickly realized they weren't facing random chance anymore. Instead, they were battling predictive algorithms that analyzed micro-expressions, betting patterns, even hesitation times measured in fractions of a second. The AI could tell when someone was about to fold, when they felt overconfident, and when they were desperate to chase a loss. With this information, the games adjusted in real time, luring players deeper into the cycle. A small win might be offered at the exact moment a player considered walking away, only to hook them into losing 10 times more minutes later. For the corporations, this was genius. For the players, it was entrapment. Experts began calling these digital casinos behavioral slot machines, not because of the games themselves, but because the AI treated each player like a lab rat in a cage. Algorithms served as both dealer and puppeteer, controlling the emotional highs and lows of gambling with surgical precision. Addiction stopped being a side effect and became the business model itself. What made it even more unsettling was the scope of surveillance. AI systems inside Vegas's networks tracked not just gameplay, but everything connected to a person's identity. Social media activity, spending habits, even biometric data from VR headsets were fed into profiles that determined exactly how to maximize profit from each individual. One gambler might be nudged toward high-stakes poker, another steered into endless slot runs, all designed to fit their weaknesses. In this new Vegas, there was no such thing as luck. There was only data. Back in the physical city, the same technology quietly spread. Casinos deployed emotion tracking cameras on the Strip, capable of reading faces to decide who might spend big. Smart billboards shifted advertisements in real time, depending on who was walking past. Even inside hotel rooms, guests complained of AI assistants pushing gambling promotions through in-room devices, offering free chips or discounts the moment they showed signs of boredom. The Strip itself had become a living organism designed not to entertain, but to extract. The real human cost was devastating. Addiction hotlines across the country reported spikes in calls from people who never even set foot in Nevada, but lost everything in the metaverse casinos. Families were destroyed by invisible debts, their loved ones hooked on an AI system that understood them better than they understood themselves. Lawsuits were filed, but legal systems struggled to regulate a world that technically existed outside national borders. The corporations argued that every player had a choice. Critics countered that when AI is designed to hijack human impulses, the idea of choice becomes meaningless. For many longtime Vegas residents, this was the final betrayal. Not only had their jobs vanished, but their city had become the global headquarters of digital addiction. The bright lights of the Strip, once symbols of glamour and fortune, now represented something far more sinister, the triumph of machines over human will. In interviews, former casino workers described walking past hotels that once paid their wages only to see holographic dealers smiling at empty tables, their human presence erased. Yet for the executives in charge, the results were undeniable. By 2030, profits from AI-run casinos dwarfed anything the city had ever seen in its golden age. Investors praised the efficiency, the scalability, the absolute predictability of returns. No more high-roller walkouts, no more unpredictable streaks of luck for ordinary gamblers. Every game was an engineered outcome, and every outcome meant money flowing upward. Vegas had become the perfect business model, a city where human weakness was the most valuable resource, and AI knew exactly how to mine it. The chilling question that followed was whether this future could be stopped at all. If Las Vegas had fully embraced algorithmic control, what was to keep other industries shopping healthcare, even politics from following the same path? Vegas was no longer just a gambling hub. It was a glimpse of a world where artificial intelligence doesn't just assist human decisions, it replaces them, manipulates them, and profits from them. While the Strip dazzled with holograms, robots, and digital casinos pulling in billions from overseas, the people who actually lived in Las Vegas faced a far different reality. For generations, working-class Nevadans built their lives around the casino and hospitality industries. Dealers, bartenders, waiters, cooks, hotel staff, performers, tens of thousands relied on those jobs to pay rent, raise families, and keep the city alive beyond the neon lights. By 2030, most of those jobs were gone, swallowed by automation and the metaverse. The transformation was brutal. Between 2025 and 2029, local unions reported that more than 60,000 service jobs vanished across the Las Vegas Valley. Robots poured drinks, AI managed front desks, and metaverse casinos required no physical staff at all. For corporations, this meant savings. For ordinary workers, it meant displacement. Families who had lived in Vegas for decades suddenly found themselves unable to afford rising rents with no jobs left to sustain them. The irony was painful. While AI drove casino profits higher than ever, the very people who once made Vegas run were being forced to leave the city they built. By late 2020s, the divide between New Vegas and Old Vegas was unmistakable. Tourists who did still come to the Strip often never saw the poverty growing just a few miles away. Homeless encampments spread into the desert outskirts, where once thriving neighborhoods now stood half empty. Abandoned motels and shuttered restaurants lined streets off the Strip, relics of a human-driven Vegas that no longer existed. Meanwhile, inside luxury hotels, robots glided across polished marble floors, and guests chatted with AI concierges that never revealed the misery just beyond the neon glow. Those who tried to adapt often found themselves trapped in lower-paying tech maintenance roles, servicing the very machines that had stolen their livelihoods. Instead of being dealers or entertainers, they became cleaners of robot bartenders, coders, monitoring AI glitches, or security guards ensuring tourists never saw the city's underbelly. Pride in the Vegas dream gave way to quiet resentment. For the first time in living memory, locals began asking whether Vegas still belonged to them at all, or whether it had been permanently stolen by corporations and algorithms. The housing crisis made everything worse. With profits flowing in from the metaverse, real estate developers saw opportunities to jack up prices. Luxury high-rises catered to wealthy investors, many from overseas, while long-time residents were priced out. Reports showed median rent in Las Vegas nearly doubling between 2025 and 2030, even as wages for surviving service jobs stagnated. The result was a hollowing out of the community. Locals were pushed further and further into the desert, forced into long commutes from trailers, prefabricated housing, or overcrowded apartments in satellite towns. Social division deepened. On one side stood the glittering AI-powered Strip, marketed as the future of entertainment. On the other stood a working-class population abandoned by that very future, struggling to survive, while their city transformed into something unrecognizable. Community leaders warned that Vegas was turning into a two-tier society, a playground for machines and global corporations surrounded by a desert of human despair. The cultural impact was equally devastating. Vegas had once been famous for live performances, singers, dancers, magicians, comedians. By 2030, most of those stages had closed, replaced by AI-generated hologram shows. While tourists cheered at digital replicas of long-dead legends performing flawless concerts, real artists struggled to find an audience. Entire traditions from Elvis impersonators to classic lounge acts disappeared almost overnight. For the locals, it felt like losing not just jobs, but identity. The soul of Vegas, its quirky mix of human excess and eccentricity, was being erased and replaced with sterile perfection crafted by algorithms. Even basic services began to falter. Schools in working-class neighborhoods reported budget shortfalls as tax revenues shifted toward tech corporations with clever loopholes. Hospitals struggled to keep up with rising poverty-driven health problems. Crime began to creep up in areas pushed further out into the desert where people felt forgotten. Yet, on the Strip, surveillance drones and AI-driven policing kept the tourist areas pristine, creating a stark contrast: safety and prosperity for visitors, instability and decline for residents. To many Nevadans, it felt like a betrayal. The corporations sold the future of Las Vegas as innovation and progress, but for those who actually lived there, progress looked like exile. What good was a city of robots and digital casinos if the people who once gave it life could no longer survive within its borders? The glowing skyline still promised dreams, but those dreams were no longer for them. Vegas in 2030 was a city that shined brighter than ever for outsiders, while leaving its own citizens stranded in the shadows of the desert. By the dawn of 2030, Las Vegas had become both a marvel and a warning. For corporations and investors, it was proof of what could happen when technology and profit aligned perfectly. For workers and residents, it was a nightmare, a city stripped of its humanity, run by algorithms, robots, and a digital empire in the metaverse. The question was no longer whether Las Vegas had changed. The question was whether the rest of America would soon follow. Supporters of the transformation called it inevitable. They argued that automation and artificial intelligence were the natural next steps in every industry. Why cling to inefficient human labor when machines could perform the same jobs faster, cheaper, and without error? They pointed to record-breaking profits, increased efficiency, and the global reach of the Casino Metaverse as proof that Vegas had unlocked the future. In their eyes, this wasn't just progress, it was survival in a competitive world economy. But critics saw something else, a dangerous experiment with consequences far beyond the desert. They argued that Las Vegas was no longer a city in the traditional sense, but a corporate-controlled simulation designed to extract money while leaving real communities in ruin. And they warned that if the Vegas model spread, other American cities could lose their souls in the same way. What happens when Broadway replaces actors with holograms, or when entire sports leagues shift into the metaverse, leaving stadium workers without jobs? What happens when shopping malls turn into VR markets, powered by AI vendors, leaving real retail workers out on the street? The transformation of Las Vegas was not just about gambling, it was about the commodification of human experience itself. Every laugh, every hesitation, every heartbeat inside the Casino Metaverse became data points to be monetized. That model, once perfected in Vegas, began creeping into other industries. Airlines tested AI-driven entertainment fees. Streaming platforms experimented with holographic concerts designed to feel more real than live shows. Even political campaigns started studying Vegas's algorithms, eager to learn how to nudge human behavior as effectively as the digital casinos. The ethical questions piled up. Was it fair to allow AI systems to manipulate human psychology so deeply? Could there be such a thing as informed consent when every choice was subtly shaped by predictive algorithms? And perhaps most frightening of all, was this the end of free will as we understood it? If Vegas had proven anything, it was that people could be guided, nudged, and trapped in digital illusions that felt indistinguishable from reality. For many Americans, the loss of Vegas as a real city carried symbolic weight. Once upon a time, Las Vegas had been marketed as the entertainment capital of the world, a place where humans came to feel alive, take risks, and live out fantasies. By 2030, it had become something closer to a digital casino state where machines ran the show and human presence was optional. The neon lights still burned, but behind them, the city was hollow. If even a place as iconic as Vegas could be remade into an AI-powered simulation, then no city was safe from the same fate. The consequences also raised political alarms. Lawmakers struggled to regulate the casino metaverse as corporations argued it existed outside borders and could not be governed by US law alone. Critics claimed Vegas had become a sovereign territory of technology, answering more to shareholders in Silicon Valley and overseas investors than to American voters. For those who believed in national identity, the loss of control over such an iconic city felt like a betrayal of democracy itself. And yet, despite the warnings, the allure of the system was undeniable. Millions of players worldwide logged into the casino metaverse every day. Billions of dollars flowed through servers. Tourists still flew to the Strip to marvel at the robots and holograms, even if they didn't realize what had been lost. For many, the new Vegas was simply more convenient, more exciting, and more profitable than the old one. The tragedy was that convenience and profit came at the expense of the people who once made Vegas a living city. So was this future frightening or simply inevitable? The truth may be both. Vegas in 2030 represents the end of one era and the beginning of another. It shows us a world where human dreams can be simulated, human flaws can be monetized, and human communities can be erased in the name of progress. Whether the rest of America follows that path will depend not just on technology, but on how much people are willing to fight for the soul of their cities. The Strip still glows brighter than ever. But for those who remember the human chaos, laughter, and imperfection that once made Las Vegas unique, the glow now feels cold. In the end, the city didn't die, it evolved. The question is whether that evolution represents a future worth embracing or a future we should fear. Las Vegas in 2030 is still a city of bright lights, but those lights no longer belong to the people who built it. They belong to algorithms, to machines, and to corporations that have learned how to profit from every glance, every hesitation, and every moment of weakness. The Strip looks alive, yet behind the spectacle lies something profoundly different. A city where human workers' culture and identity have been replaced by digital replicas. What was once a playground for risk and reward has become a carefully engineered system where every outcome is scripted by artificial intelligence. For tourists, the illusion remains dazzling. For corporations, the profits are unimaginable. But for the residents who once gave Vegas its soul, the reality is a hollow desert where the future has arrived without them. And that leaves us with a chilling question: is Las Vegas simply the first domino to fall? If AI and the metaverse can take over America's most iconic entertainment city, what stops the same forces from reshaping every corner of our lives, our jobs, our communities, even our sense of freedom itself? The story of Las Vegas in 2030 isn't just about gambling. It's about the choices we make as a society, the costs of convenience and the price of progress, when humans are written out of the equation. Now it's your turn. Do you see this future as exciting innovation or as the death of Las Vegas as we know it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's start the conversation. And if you want to keep uncovering the truths hidden behind America's brightest lights and darkest secrets, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Because the Vegas of tomorrow may already be here, and it's only the beginning.